later in the program.
Sounds good.
Joining us at the C-SPAN table, Hugh Hewitt, radio talk show host, and Christy Harvey of Air America Radio. Hugh Hewitt, tell me, since the election, what have your listeners been talking to you mostly about?
Where does the Republican Party go next? I'm a center-right host, and as a result, most of my audience is going to be, the callers at least, is going to be favoring the Republicans. And they want to see a decided turn away from the last Congress in terms of do nothing, no agenda, no energy, and so they're very interested in who's going to become the House minority leader.
And Christy Harvey of Air America Radio, what have your listeners been calling in and talking to you folks over there about?
Well, my day job is actually with the Center for American Progress, but it's a lot of the same. There's still a lot of people out there who are angry, who are still very fired up about what's happened over the last 6 years. But we mostly get calls that are center-left, and a lot of people are seeing this as a really great new chance to move forward.
Okay, but the Republicans, the Democrats rather, now control the House and the Senate. What are your callers still angry about?
I think there's just a lot of residual anger for what they've seen happen over the past 6 years. But that's actually the smaller minority of callers. A lot of the other ones really are just looking forward for a chance to move forward on things like minimum wage, health care, really starting to work on plans for the war in Iraq and things like that.
What have you been hearing regarding the interest of your callers in this race between Representative Hoyer and Murtha? And if Hoyer wins, does this cast a shadow on Speaker Pelosi?
Can I be very honest with you? I don't think anybody's really paying that much attention to it. I think that is really an inside Washington game. I'm very interested in what happens. I think people who follow politics really closely, but that's a very small minority of people. I think most people are looking big picture, looking at January, looking for things to move ahead.
Hugh Hewitt, what should the Democrats have learned from the Republicans over the last 12 years if the Democrats want to be successful in at least the next 2 years?
Oh, that's a very good question. They got to stand in there and fight for what they believe in. Now, what they believe in is wacky, and so I hope they do that. But they should stand in there and just throw down, because the Republican base is disappointed. And I was in Phoenix a couple nights ago talking to the Center for Arizona Center for Arizona Policy, and in the room, there was quite a lot of dismay that the Republicans had seemed to lose this election as opposed to the Democrats win it. They just didn't fight for what they believed in. And so I expect Speaker Pelosi, and I certainly hope it's Majority Leader Murtha. I'm cheering for him. If I had a vote, I'd go over and give it to him. I want him to be the face of the Democratic Party. Please, God, make Jack Murtha the Majority Leader. That would be my advice, is don't do nothing, because doing nothing gets you run over, and people hate it. They don't mind losing. They don't mind getting beat. They hate giving it away.
Why so supportive of Representative Murtha?
Because he's the real Democratic Party. He's a cut-and-run Democrat. Nancy Pelosi is a cut-and-run Democrat. In many respects, Republicans have very quickly gone over to the benefits of being in the minority. As you run into a presidential season when the succession gets underway, and you see Tommy Thompson declaring, and John McCain declaring, and Rudy Giuliani declaring, Governor Romney will declare soon, it's a wonderful thing not to own the Congress for these 2 years. Now, it would be a terrible thing not to get it back, but it's a wonderful thing in a presidential cycle not to own it.
We're talking with radio talk show personalities Hugh Hewitt and Christy Harvey. We'd like for you to get involved in the conversation for about the next 55 minutes. The number's there on the screen. 202-737-0002 for Democrats, 202-737-0001 for Republicans, and 202-628-0205 for independents. Our first call comes from Newton, Massachusetts, on our line for Democrats. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a Democrat, and I'm one of the supporters of John Murtha. American people spoke clearly, and they want new direction, especially what we're doing in Iraq. And John Murtha represents our really decision, and I think that's an excellent choice for our majority leader.
Hugh Hewitt, go ahead.
Oh, thumbs up. Go for it. John Murtha for Majority Leader.
All right. And Christy Harvey, how about you?
I'm also a Murtha fan. I do like him. I think characterizing him as cut and run is doing him a great disservice. I think it's great that finally someone is sitting down and saying, we need a new strategy, we need a plan, here's what I think we can do. And it's not that the Democrats really can do much. The war right now rests with one guy, that's the commander-in-chief, but at least people are out there thinking about it and talking about it.
Billerica, Michigan? Billerica, Massachusetts, rather. Go ahead, on our line for
How are
Republicans.
you doing today?
Yeah.
Mr. Hewitt, I listen to your show all the time. I enjoy your show. I think you're a very smart man. You, along with John Gibson, make up primarily of my listening for talk radio there.
And you're in
I think you're doing a
Massachusetts?
good thing. I think John Murtha's really they called it exactly, I'm agreeing with you. Might as well get the real Democrats, and they're the ones that you can see right out in their face, right out in the open, the secular progressive movement, what they want to do, because you know these are the ones that want to completely rewrite the Constitution, if they will, to their eyes. So I support you in your mission of let's get the ones that we know what they stand for, the ones that are really the far left, let's put them up there so they can just pretty much hang themselves. Thank you.
Mr. Hewitt, I'm sorry.
Well, I think there's a great deal of clarity to be had in the new Congress, and I love clarity. I prefer clarity to agreement, and so I like Speaker Pelosi being in the chair. Steny Hoyer, by the way, in long ago and far away, I worked in the Reagan administration for 6 years, and had occasion to deal with Steny Hoyer when I was running something called the Combined Federal Campaign, and he was a magnificent negotiator. He's a very skilled operator. I'm frankly much more concerned if Steny Hoyer is running the trains in the Congress than I am with Jack Murtha, who's in love with the camera. I mean, he's got red light disease. And so Steny Hoyer would be in there getting things done, and that's another reason to prefer Murtha.
Next up is Temecula, California, on our line for Independent. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's a little bit early out here on the West Coast. But,
Yeah.
Thanks for making the effort.
I just wanted to point out a couple things, and one is that I think having C-SPAN is really great for our country, and I was able to watch the hearings yesterday in the Senate Armed Service Committee with the general from Iraq, and I'm a former service member myself. I served 18 years in the Marines, and as far as Jack Murtha, how can you not admire a political leader like that who stands tall in the face of, when somebody speaks out and doesn't really, just whitewash support the current administration's direction, there's an attack that's immediately opened up on that person, no matter who it was. I mean, look at what happened to General Sinjeki when, he suggested that Iraq was going to require more than the administration was coming out with. So, Jack Murtha, I think, is a very honorable, strong leader. I think that, to have people in political leadership positions in our country that have, credible military experience, how can you not want to support that?
Thanks for your call. Christy Harvey, in yesterday's Senate Armed Service Committee hearing, General Abzade says in this headline that withdrawal would mean unrest. How do you take that?
Well, I think that they're setting up a little bit of a straw man there. I don't know anyone who says, let's bring the troops home on the 4 o'clock plane this afternoon. I don't think that it's fair to just say any withdrawal will bring unrest. I think what we do need is a strategy, and I think that we do need a plan to figure out what we're going to do. What does victory look like, and how long are we going to be over in Iraq? There was a headline in today's Washington Post that said that Iraq is basically completely divided by sectarian violence. We need to figure out how we fit into that and what we need to do with the American military to make sure we don't get drawn too deeply.
Alexandria, Virginia. Go ahead.
Well, yes, I'm a Republican, and I actually support John Murtha for a couple of reasons. One is I think he puts the true face of the Democrats on, and I don't really think he's cut and run, but I think he would tax and then take the money and run, and that's the type of guy I think he is. And God bless for the Democrats if they elect him. Good luck.
Thanks for your call. Let's go to Fort Myers, Florida, on our line for Democrats.
Good morning, C-SPAN. Thank you for taking my call. I'm a Democrat, and this guy, Hewitt here, really aggravates me because it is his attitude that is the reason that the Republicans lost. You lost, we won. At $11 million per hour for that needless war built on lies from the Downing Street memos. Excuse me, sir, Jack Murtha's got it right. He's not cut and run. He's a patriot. He's going to get rid of your $9 trillion debt.
How's
You-
that?